May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. This is the New Zealand dollar USD, NZD USD. All right, first, let's get rid of all of that. All right, and we're going to mark this up nice and fresh from the weekly, right? We took the high, this December 2024 high. Boom, broke structure. When I say break structure, that means we traded through and closed above. I like to see that. That gives a a definitive look at the market and says, hey, I'm going up. That's it. I'm bullish. All right. Let's see. What do I got here? Okay, good. Now, what else do we see? What caused it to break that high, break these highs, steal all of this buy side liquidity here? What? It was a bullish fair value gap here that tells us, indicates what the order flow is. And the order flow is bullish. So we're going to put a bullish fair value gap there. Why is that not a bullish fair value gap? Stop it. Stop it. What's going on here? There you go. All right. So we got a weekly for bullish fair value gap there. Let's use this one. All right. We got a weekly fair value gap there. We have the sell before the buy. All right. The stronger buy. And then we finally broke structure here. Then we moved to the side, didn't we? We did not take the low. All right. We see a high, a low there. Does that mean we have another fair value gap there? Yeah, a very thin one. Sure does. And what did price do with that thin fair value gap? It drove right into it and moved to higher prices, closing right just shy of the high of the previous week. Okay, this is how last week closed. Very bullish, and it looks, it's a bullish candle, and it was a nice close, but we did not close above that high. All right, we can do that on the next candle. Now we're looking at the daily. On the daily, what did we see? What do we see? We have another bullish fair value gap that closed Friday. We got this bullish fair value gap on the daily. That is indicating that price could definitely use this for support for higher prices for sure. At the very least, if this fair value gap fails and price runs through it, then we'll look for it to inverse, right? We'll look for it to invert, excuse me, and we can see. Let me draw that over with a different pen. We can look for this fair value gap to invert. If price jams through it, we can look for it to inverse and use it for resistance for lower prices. All right, but because price has already had this sweeping move, already taken the sell side liquidity here, bouncing off of the weekly fair value gap and moving up higher and creating another fair value gap along the way, why would we be looking for anything bearish? Well, I'll tell you why. Uh, uh, Things could change on a dime. What we want to make sure we do is make sure that we take confirmations. We look for confirmations of our bias. All right, Trump can put out a tweet, can put out an announcement of new tariffs or not helping with the war or helping with the war in the Ukraine. It could turn the market. The markets are very sensitive to these fundamental news items, and that's why it could, just because it's set up to go higher, we got structure in place to go higher, doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. All right, but we can only go with what we see, right? And what I see in front of me is a push down to here, a bounce from the weekly fair value gap, and an impulsive move to the upside, taking that high, breaking structure, trading through it. And now we have the pullback, which is natural. That's what you want to see. All right. And where are we pulling back to? To create a bullish fair value gap. I'm looking for price to bounce off of this. I'm looking for price to dig, take out these lows, dig into this fair value gap, and then give us some indication that it wants to go higher. Now, what price has to contend with right now is this bearish fair value gap right here. All right, that's a bearish one. All right, and this is the deal. How do I use this? Oh man, what am I doing? All right, well, how do I use that bearish fair value gap? First of all, the bullish fair value gap is on a daily chart. This one's on a 4-hour chart. The daily, the higher the time frame, the stronger its influence. Okay, and I got a 4-hour here. I'm looking for this thing to fail. Why? Because if it does fail, if price pushes through it, it'll invert. Price will come back to it and use it as support to go higher. All right, and I'd be looking. How does price break that fair value gap? Does it displace through it, then comes back, creating a bullish fair value gap here in the same area? That is a strong confluence for support, and I'd be looking to take a high probability trade to the upside from there. So I'm going to be watching this fair value gap very, very keenly. All right, with a lot of interest. Okay, what is that doing? I don't know. All right, so we got this bullish fair value gap here. I'm waiting for it to get tapped. And if it does, price does make it down here, this is where I'll be looking for a change in the state of delivery so that we can take a high probability trade to the upside. If it breaks this this bearish fair value gap, I'll be looking for price to come back to it as an inverted fair value gap for higher prices. Got two things to look for. Okay, I have nothing but bullish signs in this market. I don't see a good reason until we see some breaks of market structure. I don't see any good reason to think that in terms of sells. Got it. I hope you enjoyed this market analysis for the upcoming week, and I want you to trade. I want you to trade carefully. Okay. Listen, I already put out videos for the U.S. dollar index, the Euro USD, the Pound USD, the Aussie dollar USD, and the NZD USD. All right. I already put no, not NZD USD, not yet. I'll put that one out next. But I wanted to put out this S&P market analysis. So just look for more. I'm putting them out. All right. I'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.